That's the reason why I was able to get over 91 billion video views on YouTube and another 56 billion on all the other social platforms.
If you want to share how you are creating content, what kind of pointers you have for content creation, you're working with Myron Golden, Mr. Beast, NBC, Red Bulls, and so many big clients. So if the people who is watching this podcast, they also want to onboard this level of client for their business, what is the steps they follow to have this kind of clients for them? You suggest to Myron Golden that you have to follow my content strategy to win the YouTube game, and you don't have to promote your YouTube video to your email list and don't have to run ads and all. Because of your content strategy, Myron Golden generate a lot of views, a lot of subscriber and all. Hi everyone, welcome to the Entrepreneurs Warrior Show. This is where I am interviewing entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants who are expert in their niche. And today we have Derral Eves. So he is the CEO of Creatus, a video marketing and strategy company. He is also the founder of VidSummit, and he has helped 34 YouTube channels to go from zero to more than 1 million subscribers, and he has generated over 87 billion views on YouTube, and he have 42 billion views on another social media. So we are going to get all the insights, details from him, and I'm super excited. So let's have Derral Eves on the stage. Hi,
Well,
Derral.
I'm excited to be here. How you doing?
I'm doing superb. Thank you so much for joining. I know you started your journey at in 1999. So it's quite 23 years. But can you please share a little bit of your glimpse about your journey, about your backstory, so the people who have no idea or might be seeing you for the first time, so a bit of your journey.
So my journey into entrepreneurship actually started when I was 7 years old. My father was really good at helping us understand opportunities, and he encouraged me to get a paper route. And before you know it, I had multiple paper routes. I was able to expand that very consistently and make a ton of money, and then was able to take that money and just have it accrue in a bank account. And then my father's like, hey, you know that money that's sitting in the bank account, let's go ahead and show you how to use that money more wisely, and let's invest into things. And I was probably about 10 at the time, and we started to invest in cows. So I took the money out of the bank, bought brand new calves, raise them up, and then we'd take them to the auction and sell them. And so I was able to start multiplying the money there, and that accrued. And then when I was 12, that money got to a significant amount of part where he says, hey, there's a guy up there that I'm going to have you take the money out of the bank, and I'm going to have you go over there and give him that money for a piece of ground. And he goes, I'll show you the real way to make money. And so I did that. And the guy thought it was really weird that a 12-year-old was coming with, a little bit of money, and bought some ground from him. And he was an older gentleman that had a farm. And so I worked with him very specifically on his farm to pay, my monthly payment, but also I was making money to make a monthly payment. And so that was when I was 12. And when I was 18, I actually sold that piece of ground, made a ton of money on it. And it got me into buying a new piece of ground. I went on LES mission for 2 years in South America, and then came back, and then I was able to build a house that I was still paying for, but I got into it really super cheap because I was able to put a lot of money down, and we did self-build on that as well. So that's kind of where it started. And then for me, my entrepreneur journeys, I've always been there. I was always looking for opportunity. Was able to graduate college and had a couple of job offers, and decided to start my own business. I felt like I wanted to set my own cadence and schedule. And that was a difficult step because I had a brand new baby and a wife, just barely graduated school, and trying to balance all this stuff. And I started an agency and working with small businesses to help them get more people coming into the store and buying more things. And so did a lot of direct mail, did a lot of website development online. And then at that time it was directories, like getting them in the directory. And that eventually led to 2005. I discovered YouTube on Craigslist. There was an ad for YouTube. If you go and get on this new site, and my jaw dropped. I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm all about. This is where I want to go. And so at that time, I had a lot of website development company or website clients that we've developed and put hosting for, and we're trying to rank them on the internet, on Google specifically. And I found that, hey, these videos, you can embed them on the website. And so I decided I could upsell all my clients on that. And I went all in for the next year and a half, and I was able to make 865 videos for the website clients that I had. They're all embedding. And then magically in 2007, 2008 is where all those videos started to go on the front page of Google, because Google bought YouTube for 1.5 billion, 1.6 billion. And ultimately, the phone started to ring. People were starting to go to websites. It was really, really magical. And that's where the journey started, is in getting the phone to ring and converting with direct type of connection videos that would get people to want to pick up the phone or go into the shop. So that's how it all started.
That's quite interesting and amazing journey of a roller coaster journey, we can say, because you started as an agency, then you shift to the YouTube, and you take the advantage, like it's when you started YouTube in 2005, 2004, you take it, you grab it, and now you are here. It's literally super awesome. So when you started, the YouTube was all about the long form videos, but now, and when I'm seeing your previous interviews, in one of your interviews you mentioned that you're a big fan of short form content. So, and it works with a great strategy. Can you please share some great strategy like that you are applying to get a lot of visibility and growth with the power of shorts?
Yeah. So, I think any strategy for video is understanding who you're making content for. I think if you're only making content to make content, or you're trying to make content to sales, then you're going to miss the mark. What you need to do is understand, who you're creating content for, what they would find valuable, and then two, how do you actually pull them in to your content very quickly? Now, for me with shorts, you have just a very minute amount of time, because they're going to swipe up very quickly if they don't find it engaging or something doesn't pull them in. So you got to know your audience well enough to predict exactly what they're doing. In fact, I'm mentoring a student right now. He has a video that is taking off. Like literally, he got like 285,000 views in the last day, and I'm already telling him what video he needs to make next. It's just really, really important because of the trending and of the connection of the viewer. And so it's just like really learning how people respond to your content and why, and then having a consistent content strategy of releasing content that would be congruent to the content that you're actually creating.
Yes, that's true. And having a content strategy is something really help us to get. And again, I'm seeing your FHL speech. Last year FHL speech, there was superb, and a lot of ideas I got from that speech. And you mentioned that you suggest to Myron Golden that you have to follow my content strategy to win the YouTube game, and you don't have to promote your YouTube video to your email list and don't have to run ads and all. And because of your content strategy, Myron Golden generate a lot of views, a lot of subscriber and all. So can you please break down with us about your content strategy, like how it look like, and the people who is watching us, how they can implement your content strategy in YouTube?
Yeah, so I think the big thing is the moment that you tell YouTube who your audience is, the moment you lose. And let me kind of explain that. So when you buy an ad, you have to be able to say, this ad is for these type of people. Here's the demographics, whatever. And it might not even be your audience. And then two, if you send a lot of traffic via email to YouTube, YouTube doesn't know if it's real traffic or fake traffic because it came from an external source coming onto YouTube. They weren't on YouTube watching the video. And so they don't know if it's trusted or not. And so for me, I want to make sure the right people are seeing it. And I want YouTube to basically say who that person is. Now, I know I said earlier, I want to really understand who the viewer is. And the best way to understand who the viewer is seeing who magnetically is connecting to your content. And so it's like, as you're defining who it is and what people respond to, YouTube can go find more of those people out there that would respond to it. So like in Myron Golden's case, he wanted to do all these promotion. I'm like, no, like, let's let YouTube figure out who your audience is. And he was able to find that his audience was actually far bigger than what he thought. He was narrowing it down. He was niching way too down, and he actually made more money, more leads, went up like 4,000%. It was like crazy. And the only reason why was because he was able to really speak to the person that really did care about his content. And so at the end of the day, my strategy is to put a plan together. And that would be really analyzing who's watching the content and why, and the type of content they'd engage with. And in that plan too, I would want to know how the video is going to be put together and edited that would speak to the viewer that I'm trying to connect with. And then I would execute on that. So I'd basically upload the video. I'd optimize that video. I'd optimize the title. I'd optimize the thumbnail. And then ultimately the goal of what I do is to analyze. Like, I want to analyze, did it actually work what I thought it was going to do? How did it engage? Now, I don't view it from just views. I look at very specific analytics that YouTube gives us to really understand if the viewer actually is the person that we're trying to connect with, where they're actually watching it from, the type of device that they're watching it from. I got all this information that I'm able to get context on this. So just give you a perfect example. When you go to YouTube and you go on your phone, YouTube's going to optimize for what type of content that you watch on your phone. And you might 2 hours later go to your TV on your same YouTube account and you'll get different results. And the reason why is because YouTube will actually engage with that differently than what you're actually doing on the device. So like, you're less likely to skip. You might watch longer content. That's just kind of the way that it is.
Wow, this is literally powerful thing. And the thing that you mentioned, like how people are consuming my content, on which device they are consuming, this is actually the deeper we are going, and that's how you are getting this level of insane level of result in YouTube, right? Superb.
Yep.
So you mentioned this analyzing the stuff and all. So can you please break down some pointers on highlight the stuff, like you mentioned this, you are seeing that analysis on basis of a mobile, on basis of the devices they are consuming. Can you please go more deep in this point of on the analysis point?
Yeah, I mean, I can give you generalities, and that'll be okay. But how you analyze each video, once again, is who's watching it. That would be demographic, right? Where they're watching it from, that would be device type. Where they're finding the content, that would be traffic sources. And then I'm very specific on, did they click? What's the percentage of the click-through rate? And then I also want to know the retention. And so you look at those things, that's pretty much the general aspects of that. If you want to go hyper nerdy, hyper specific, this interview is not even remotely long enough. Like, that's the reason why I do a 12-week mentoring program, is because there's just so much you have to get and understand until it becomes a routine of how to actually analyze properly and see the correlation and the patterns of what the audience does on your content.
That's so true. And definitely we are not able to share everything in the just 30-minute or 45-minute of podcast. That's true. So if we nowadays, what happen is, like, many people have millions of subscriber on their YouTube channel, billions of only millions, we can take millions of subscriber they have on their YouTube channel, but still the number of views is very less. Like, it might be hundreds and thousands are. So do you have any idea or insights on why it's happening with this big level of channels? Like, why they are getting this very less number of views, and how does that they can change this?
Let's just make it clear. YouTube doesn't care about subscribers. They don't even like to register that. I think that's something that they did in the beginning to encourage people, but realistically, not all the subscribers that subscribe to your channel is ever going to see your videos. It just doesn't happen. YouTube doesn't care about it. So what they do care about is who's active, who's actively viewing. And so one of the metrics I like to look at and truly understand is new viewers versus returning viewers. And then also what's the average view per viewer that's coming in? What's the average of people consuming it? And so if you have a lot of subscribers, but low view count, that means that you don't have a lot of average, you don't have a lot of returning viewers. You got new viewers coming in, or you have a small set of loyal viewers that watch everything that you do, but you don't have new viewers coming in. So you'd have to look at those metrics to see what's actually happening there.
And that's true. Like every subscriber is not our true listener. Like I also see many times like my family members also tell me like, hey, send us your YouTube channel. I would love to subscribe your channel. But in reality, they are not going to consume my content.
Yep.
That's the point, right? Super.
Yep.
So as we just discussed about the shorts and all, and we are seeing this change all on YouTube, like the short feature is coming there, then the YouTube is coming up with this podcast feature. So how do you think that the integration of this feature in YouTube infrastructure is benefit the creators and viewers? And if someone is started publishing this shorts and podcast, which one is a benefited to the audience, to the creators?
So there's always an awkward period when YouTube introduced a new feature, and we're on the tail end of the awkward period where it takes a little while to integrate. So it's been 4 years since YouTube has actually instituted Shorts. In fact, India was the first place to beta Shorts, and ultimately, it came over to the United States. And I've been working with the development team. I had 2 of the 10 of the case studies that they were actually doing when they first introduced it. And for me, there's different types of viewers. I actually prefer the shorter videos. I prefer TikTok over YouTube. I really do. I think TikTok algorithm is more interesting than YouTube is at this point. However, when it comes to impact and monetization, if your monetization is coming through a growth strategy, an audience development strategy, then I'd 100% do it on YouTube. If it's just more about converting strategy, I might do an ad or engaging content on TikTok because it's a really good platform to get people to buy. And then 2, you can take that content over on IG and Facebook, and then also YouTube to do the same thing. And so ultimately, we're multi-format creators. We're going to do live streams. We're going to do long videos. We're going to do shorts. But also, I want to be platform agnostic. I care about the viewer, even though I'm the YouTube guy. Like, I just care about the viewer and connecting with the viewer. And believe it or not, there's different viewers on different platforms. Like, people don't go to YouTube exclusively. Right? They just go for all this different areas. So what I teach is how to make great content, and then how to leverage the platform, how to get you more views. And so that's the reason why I was able to get over 91 billion video views on YouTube and another 56 billion on all the other social platforms. And so it's just when you have great content that people will engage with and want to share, then that's when you win every single time.
Love this idea. Love this concept. So if you want to share how you are creating content, like what kind of things or pointers you have for content creation, or specific topics you are giving to your clients, like you can create content on this point or on this point. So you have any specific checklist or something related to content?
I mean, like it varies per client. Like, what I would say to a client is, let's go out and see what's out there. Let's see what people are actually doing, what's working, what's not working. And we would go through a pretty in-depth process. In fact, if you guys get a chance to buy my book, it's called The YouTube Formula. You can get it on Amazon. But in there's a section called Recon and Research. And that goes through every little thing that I do before I even, come up with an idea to shoot. It's just like, I really want to do a lot of research of understanding what type of content's out there, who's responding to what's out there, and then start generating ideas. And for me, that's a necessity. It's like at the end of the day, you need to know the landscape to understand what's working, what's not working. And then 2, where you feel like you can contribute. Because like if you're just going to redo someone else's video, that's not very good. But if you're like, hey, this is a great idea that has a great audience, but I would do it this way. This is the way I would do it, and this make it better. Then that's even better. And so I'd start generating a list from that. And then two, I'd look very specifically of the commonalities of your business. There might be a lot of frequently asked questions that people ask. Well, those would be great type of content that would engage because you know that they're frequently asked. Now, keeping in mind that they're most likely going to come through search when you do that, what we want to do is not just be a values-based channel in the sense that they come and it's a resource. We want them to go deeper. I would also include, well, what are like 5 ideas that's around this? It's not a search-based idea. It could be 5 mistakes when you're doing this, right? It might be around the topic. It might be around something that they're interested in, and you're able to engage with it from there.
Yeah, it's true. Like every person and every industry have different content and content ideas specifically and all those things. Yes, definitely. Superb. So you are believing in the mass movement, and this is also that's the one more reason you are focusing a lot on this YouTube and all. So how we can create a mass movement with the power of YouTube? Like I see a lot of videos of yours where you are discussing a lot about creating a movement, creating a mass movement. So can you share this?
Yeah, for me, like I don't get motivated by money. I know that's kind of weird. Some entrepreneurs do, but I like to make change. I like to disrupt the world. And so for me, that's motivation for me to do tough things. Now, in the world, there's people that would get behind a business and get behind a movement if they had a clear vision. So for me, I like to work with my clients to say, okay, where do you want to be? Why are you doing this? You know, and if we can figure out where their vision is and their mission is, then ultimately we can figure out their content that's going to connect. And it's going to be louder than a video because it's going to be about a process and also a movement. So I really go way in depth on that. I believe in it. For me with YouTube, I want to inspire people that's putting out great content that would be a net positive to the world instead of a net negative. There's a lot of negativity out there. I want to uplift the world, not rip down the world. And so ultimately I'm looking for people to help there. And so that's why I'm doing YouTube. That's why I'm writing my book. That's why I'm spending time on this podcast when I can make a heck of a lot more money just working, right? So at the end of the day, if I can inspire someone to utilize YouTube in a way that will benefit the community, that will benefit the world, then I'm achieving my mission. And so part of that is just really find passionate people around specific things in the world, and then being very clear of what they're trying to do, and that helps with the movement.
Yes, that's true. And when the movement or the mission is bigger than money, we can have more money. That is something I learned from my mentors, and you also when our mission is bigger than something, the money is always be a byproduct, and you clear this point. You make it. You super. So you are working with the big clients, like a lot of big clients we have. You are working with Myron Golden, Mr. Beast, NBC, Red Bulls, and so many big clients. So if the people who is watching this podcast, who is listening to this podcast, and they also want to onboard this level of client for their business, for their services, for their consulting, whatever it is, what is the steps or process they follow to have this kind of clients for themselves?
So the thing for me is I've always tried to do amazing work to get a referral. And that was one of the things that I started early on in my career, is to have my clients get so excited about what I just did. And I always ask them, hey, is there someone that you know that might use my skills, and to get that referral? And that's how I started my business. And believe it or not, it took about 3 or 4 years of doing really good work where I never had to do advertising. I've never advertised myself. I'd never really gone through that process because I had enough work based on the referral, and I wasn't giving out money. They did it out of the kindness of their heart because of what I did for them. And I can tell you that if you do great work, you have great case studies, and great case studies will lead to new opportunities. And so realistically, getting a client like Epic Games or Amazon, it comes from people talking, and they're like, oh, hey, I need to do YouTube strategy. Who do you know? Like, I use this guy. His name's Derral. He did this, whatever. He did a great job for us. Lo and behold, I get a little email coming in, me not advertising, and I'm able to connect. And then two, leveraging, once you have a really good case study, so like Mr. Beast's a great case study, right? Leveraging that in the way. That's why I had him write my foreword to the book. That's why I used some examples of his growth in the book, is using that as a case study. And it also, it works with me. Well, here's the thing. He was on the Joe Rogan show, the podcast that Joe Rogan has. And they're like, who knows YouTube? Who teaches YouTube? And guess who he shouted me out? He literally shouted me out and says, dude, the only person I trust is Derral. Like, when he says stuff like that on Joe Rogan, they have a lot of people reaching out as well. So once again, doing good work and bringing the value in will actually lead to your next opportunity. And the thing for me is getting them primed and helping people know, hey, your business is based off a referral. Can you help me out? If you've done a great job.
Wow, this is completely insane. But at first you have to give them the best so they can give you their best. That's the point, right? Because if you are not giving the 100% to your clients, they might be not giving you their things. Thank you so much, Derral, and it's really glad to have you here. I learned so many things, and after a lot of reschedules we did it, but I appreciate you for that. So before we wrap up the show, can you share about your book? If people want to get it, I'll drop all the links in the description, but can you please share about you?
Yeah, for sure. You can go to any place to buy, like Amazon and Target, whatever, like whatever, wherever they sell books. I actually have a place, ytformula.com. You can get some additional training there as well. And then two, there's other supplemental training in the book, but you can get it on Amazon or whatever, but ytformula.com, and highly, highly recommend you do it. I'm a book reader, and I want to contribute and be an author too. So that was my first book, got the Wall Street Journal bestseller. And we sell a lot of books, and it's really good content. It really is. So.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Derral. And everyone who is watching us, make sure you show your love to Derral and share your biggest takeaway in the comment section. Thanks a lot, Derral, for being a part of our show. Thanks a lot. Till then, Nilesh signing off. Have a great day, everyone.